Oh, God.
You do not have a mail reception at your business or your home, you can get a free mailbox across the street.
If you don't what? That's not true.
It is very true.
What?
Jim just went down and found out, yes.
I
It's
don't
a
have a
smaller
mailbox.
box. It's a smaller box.
Oh, a free one to put at your house.
No, no.
You don't get a free P.O. box.
Yes.
No.
Wait,
Are you serious? I am serious.
A free PO box of what?
Jade,
I didn't have a mailbox when I lived on Houston.
All right.
I had to pay for this.
well, Joyce has been paying for 13 years.
For a P.O. box.
for
Maybe it's
mailbox.
a secret.
Jay
No one
Johnson
knows.
went down to get a mailbox for their new business, 17.
A P.O. box.
P.O. box across the street.
Hmm.
And they didn't charge her because there is no mail reception. She can't get mail.
Otherwise.
1776, that's true.
I'm gonna go ask for a refund.
You can put a mailbox up at your house.
I would say, yeah, if you can't put a box up, there's no way.
Right, exactly, and there's no mail, you can't, like these businesses downtown, they don't get mail
Well,
there.
back in the day, there'd be like a little slot in the door.
Well, they're not anymore. No slot in the door.
Will they not walk the mail down to the
They don't walk the mail here.
You're lucky if you get it delivered.
Yeah.
You're lucky if you get in the
I
right
love
one.
mine, I love mine, I'm with it over there. I get all my mail at home now.
But that's where I like to go there because that's where I'd always run into Jim. Who's the guy's? What's his name? Jim that just passed away. Jim Lucas. I like going to the P.O. box because I'd always see Jim Lucas. He did pass away. Yeah, but I'd always see him there.
Well, I'll tell you, I can see anybody I want downtown, I don't have to.
You get to yeah,
$114 a year for junk mail, because that's all I would get in the mail.
yeah.
You know, I get I get the autograph. That's it.
Yeah, but we've
Everything
got
else
those,
comes out mine.
but we've got those mailboxes out there in court.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the what's today? June 13th, perhaps. 2023 Tenino City Council work session. All council members are present. Today on the work session agenda, we have discussion topics such as public safety sales tax and RV ordinance, as well as we typically get into our reports. So I'll start with the public safety sales tax. We've been talking about that the last couple meetings about a proposal to tack on 0.01% to the Tenino sales tax. And council has authorized or given direction to staff to move forward with drafting an ordinance. I'm asking that we push pause on that because there's a simultaneous effort that is going on at the county level, and the county is looking at proposing a 0.02% sales tax increase countywide, and there would be a revenue sharing aspect of that would be part of what goes on. So I'm trying to I'm trying to get more information for you guys to see if what happens if we pass one and the county passes one. There's a max of 0.03%. We can figure out how much that would generate for the city and what that would mean. And then we'll have to play around with scenarios about do we want to still continue with our individual effort? Do we want to also support the county effort, or do we want to scrap our effort and just support the county's effort? And so we're trying to figure out how exactly that will play out.
Do we know how much we would get of that?
It's around 30 to 40,000 that we would get for our 0.01%.
Yes.
The county is estimated if there was a 0.02% that they pass, there would be about 74,000 that would go to, so about twice as much.
Really?
Yeah, so, you double it.
Do we have a time frame?
They would be putting it on the November ballot, I believe.
So we have a little time.
Yeah, we got a couple meetings to talk about it. I don't know exactly, but my first question was, if we were, do we run ours and then theirs negates ours? If we run ours, then they run theirs. Does it compound? Because, and how much do we really need, and what do we want? And Yeah, and if it negates it, there's no sense in, it doesn't exactly interplay like the home fund sales tax did.
Okay, so it won't, okay.
It's a different animal. So I'm talking to Rick and we're trying to figure out what the specifics are. Chief, did you want to talk about staffing?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. So this is a kind of a non-scripted conversation I'm having here. Initially, I was ready to present more of a comprehensive plan, but we're going to pump the brakes on that, put some finishing touches on the presentation, and hopefully have it on our next meeting's agenda. But to give kind of a 30,000-foot view of what we're looking at right now, is we're experiencing some pretty significant staffing issues. Currently we have three. One is actively in backgrounds with another agency, and after our meeting today, another officer got notification that he's being moved on to the next process. So in an effort to try to retain the staff that we've got, good news is we've got a very good, viable lateral candidate that we're potentially going to be offering a position to here in the next week. So that will help. But what I'm going to be addressing next meeting is the potential to hold off on filling the fourth officer position and proposing a fairly aggressive restructuring of the police officer's current pay scale in an effort to be more competitive with Thurston County agencies and other comparable agencies in the area. Again, it will be explained very clearly in the presentation. We've got it figured out to where it won't be a budgetary issue. It wouldn't be outside of our already allotted funds. But we're in a pretty unique spot now that, you know, there are agencies that have 600 vacancies that they can't fill. You know, the times have shifted from, there are, 5 police officer positions and literally thousands of applicants fighting for those positions. It's the opposite now, where there are hundreds of police jobs available, and we can't find officers that are qualified to fill them. And the officers that are going to people that want to become police officers are going to agencies with very hefty compensation packages and even signing bonuses in the $10, $20, $30, and $50,000 range. So again, the 30,000-foot view is we would be looking at not filling the fourth officer position, restructuring our current pay scale in order to retain people and recruit local talent. And as far as the fourth officer position goes, the 2024 fiscal budget, the budget for 2024, we could potentially talk about refilling that fourth position depending on what happens with the public safety tax and just other revenues that the city is bringing in through increased cash revenue from businesses and whatnot. So.
Thank you. Any questions for Chief?
I have one. Sorry.
We're gonna. Can you hold off till public comment?
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. Okay.
Council members, any basic questions?
So if you don't fill that position, is the police department going to be okay having not as many staff as you're used to? Because I know you're talking about bringing on that, having somebody else come in laterally, but.
I think we can feel good that we're not in a unique position. I don't think there's any Thurston County agency that is fully staffed right now. Mm-hmm. There are some King County agencies, like I said, with 600 vacancies. So we're all in the same boat. Every police department is in the same boat. But when you have 4 full-time positions and we aren't filling one, yes, we are theoretically 25% down in staffing. Mm-hmm. But having 4 positions on a piece of paper and not being able to fill them because our compensation package isn't competitive, mm-hmm. we will remain in that until we address our compensation package in order to be more competitive in the market. Mm-hmm. So yes, it does create some staffing issues and scheduling issues. They're no different than what other agencies are dealing with. My biggest motivation for doing this now is I never want to say that I'm not going to fill a position that we're going to hold off on filling that number 4 position. But I want to retain the talent that we do have. I want to retain that talent that has institutional knowledge and that's been loyal to the city. And once we've kind of stopped the hemorrhaging, we've retained our talent that's already here, we have a more aggressive compensation package, we then can become more marketable to candidates. So to answer your question, yes, it does create a problem right now, but it's the same problem that all the other agencies are dealing with.
How are things going right now with just the 3 of you guys right now?
The county's been good about helping cover times when we're down an officer, or like they're always good at backing us up. I've adjusted my personal schedule to take on more of a patrol function, and we're making it. You know, Tenino traditionally has never had, you know, a lot of police officers on staff, and it's just a component of population and size and budget. And I mean, I don't think those are secrets to anybody. It's certainly not lost on me. But I truly feel like the best approach is recognize the position that we're in, hold off on filling that 4th position, restructuring a pay scale to retain the people that we do have, and then addressing that 4th position as we address budget in the upcoming months and in the upcoming possibly even years.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next item of discussion is RV ordinance discussion. We have some suggestions. So we've been talking about this for several months. I want to thank Jason Lawton, who noted some possible changes. So this has been on the work session. I've gotten no movement from council as we've discussed it. So in an attempt to either move it or do something with it, Jason took a run at it and made some suggested changes in the notes. And Jason, do you want to, or Councilmember Lawton, do you want to talk about those?
Have you guys looked it over? You guys have any questions?
So they just got it recently. So if you want to go through and kind of, if you can go over the suggested changes that you threw in there.
I don't understand your first one, A, 15.
No more than 15 days.
They can't be there any more than 15 days.
Right.
They can't
And then
be
to
moved
renew
until
for another
exact-
permit, they can't renew it until the following year from the exact date.
Can't they stay longer than that with the current permit?
No, the current is, what, 15 right now?
And then they can renew for,
After a year.
There's no permit right now. It's just
There's no
flat.
permit
Yeah,
at
it's just
all.
flat out. They get 15 days. So instituting a permit process would allow code enforcement to kind of administratively provide oversight.
And then no tent camping, was that yours?
Yeah, no tent camping.
That was your change too? Okay.
No tent camping.
Yeah, no tent camping, especially after what happened over the weekend.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, tent camping would not be an option.
And then suggested that, go ahead, Elaine.
it must be owned. The tractor must be owned
By
by the.
the homeowner. So a guest.
But if your child comes to visit, or your parents come to visit,
Still has to be.
the homeowner wouldn't own it.
No, it has to. The travel trailer has to be owned by the homeowner. It doesn't matter if you're, whoever comes to visit, the trailer has to be. I mean, that's open to suggestion, but
Well, I see what Elaine is saying though, because if, for instance, I have family come from Eastern Washington and they wanna spend the weekend or 15 days, I don't have a travel trailer on my property.
Yeah, that's neat, cause I
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
daughter
but-
coming from Oregon that.
But the people that are coming to visit might have a motorhome or a travel trailer. You see what we're saying?
yeah. No, yeah, yeah. This isn't like set in stone. Yeah, to start with.
Yeah.
So this isn't on the agenda. This is just simply suggested changes by a council member. We can redo the ordinance with the suggested changes, and then at a future council meeting, you guys can debate the merits of those changes, or you can suggest other changes. It's really up to you guys. This is, you know, you guys are the legislators. You just have to tell me what to do, and I'm not.
So right now, can you suggest, or is that something that we'll have to do?
I would be
Separate.
comfortable if you guys, you know, like if there are, I'm trying to think how to do it without, if there are changes you would like to see us make, Jason's made some. You guys can talk about suggestions now. You can give me any kind of guidance you want, and I would have staff redraft it, and I could put it on a council meeting. And in the council meeting is when you guys would make a motion, hold a debate, move it. But you could move it back to the planning commission. You can pass it as is. You can make a motion to adjust things. I would, of course, anything that you guys do suggest, I would want to take to the attorney and make sure that it's legit. And then we would also want to give staff an opportunity to weigh in if they had any concerns or questions.
I guess I'm still not understanding this A to 15 days. You're saying it's already 15 days?
No, that's well, to get a permit, it's 15 days. Right now, you don't need a permit.
Okay.
And
So
this
that's all.
original ordinance was suggesting 120 days, subject to compliance with standards set forth in the section. And Jason is making the suggestion of changing that 120 to 15.
Is that right?
Yes. Or whatever you guys decide too.
But then after those 15 days, they can't renew until a year from the
Right.
first permit.
But they could apply for a different permit for another person that's coming to visit. Is that right? Can they do that?
So like.
I guess we would have to talk about that one.
Yeah, because, summertime, people have people come to visit. And one permit per year for 15,
Yeah.
that doesn't seem like very much, 15 days.
So how many days do you want?
Well, I would think that they would be allowed,
I believe the ordinance as it sits now, you can have as many visitors as you want. There are no permits. You can have visitors as you want throughout the summer, but you can't have people live in the trailer for an extended period of
right.
time.
Right.
And that's, to me, that's what it should be. They can't live there for an extended period. They can't set up residency there, in other words. That's where the problem comes in with all these camps. They've set up residency there. Then once they do that, the authorities can't move them, can't do anything about it. So, and because I hate to see, we as a council limiting a person's ability to have people come visit on their property
Right.
for, I just can't, I just don't think that we have that right, I don't wanna see a bunch of campers and trailers around either, but people, if someone has people coming to visit, they may have somebody, 2 or 3 or 4 people come during the summertime to visit. So, I don't know, and if they're gonna require a permit, then, of course, this is also limiting it to 5 permits per year. I don't know. gotta think on
You're saying only one, the 115 days. and then
Okay,
you gotta do it.
why don't you guys take this home, read it, and we're still collecting suggestions.
Okay.
And I'm gonna move into the report section. Do we have a report from George? Would you like to read that, Linda? Or Jen? So George Sharp's not able to make it tonight, but he's emailed in a report.
The city is this Friday at 8 a.m. at the courthouse, and we'll be
Steady,
doing
the steady meeting.
the steady meeting.
Yeah, okay.
And at the quarry house, and we'll be doing a ribbon cutting with the group at 9:30. Chamber lunch is the 21st at the Sandstone Cafe. Tenino Arts are not coming tonight. They will present a check at next council. 15 banners got delivered today to Public Works. And the other thing is, the steady meeting is going to have our mayor as speaker.
Thank you. South Thurston Fire. Would one of you like to provide a report?
You wanna go, Dave?
Trying to think what
We got bad news. We got bad news on some of our apparatus.
for some reason I'm drawing a blank on what we.
Yeah, we got bad news on some of our, thank you. On some of our apparatus. One of the engines that we ordered and were told should be here by the end of this month, they messed up the order, so they have to totally redo everything. So we're looking closer to the end of the year before that shows up. Not our fault.
Wow,
Yeah.
better to catch it.
They put everything on the wrong chassis, and they put in some wrong equipment, and it's just,
Who was that?
I don't remember who we went for.
Was it a Wildland rig?
No, it was an engine.
A tender, oh geez.
Yeah.
I do not see Linda the librarian. Jessica's not here for a museum report. Oh, excellent. Let's hear it. Go ahead. Miss Jen?
Okay, this is Jessica's report. The city has participated in the third Tenino School District field trip. No, in 3 Tenino School District field trips, the 7th grade tours, the 2nd grade nature walk, and the SPED City Hall tour. 15 of the new metal banners have been delivered to Public Works. They are beautiful. Progress is being made at the park on all fronts for various projects. I'm taking lots of pictures for grant reports, definitely doing more trash patrols and keeping an eye on all the corners of the park. The new playground and improved weather makes for a lot of visitors. 2 new ADA park benches just came in for the new playground area. Jessica has put together a new lifeguard handbook and is working on a new pool rules sign. The Quarry House has a new keypad lock, which eliminates the need to pick up keys from City Hall. How's that working?
Did that work out well?
What did I do? Forget to leave the key? I did.
No, I was just, yeah, I heard you used it this weekend, so good.
Awesome.
Senior lunches are now happening regularly again, as are the Lions Club meetings, Quarryman Car Club, and the Historical Society. The Jubilee is taking shape. The final Jubilee Committee meeting is Wednesday night at 6:30 at the Presbyterian Church. All are welcome. We are planning to have special seating for council members for the Jubilee opening ceremonies, which means she would love you all to attend.
She has what for us?
Special seating up on the stage.
We have to be in costume. That's gonna be on me.
Special masks. We are supposed to have our new city website ready to go by June 10th, but that date has come and gone. Civic Plus seems to have a huge backlog, and the person who is working on our project is on medical leave. Traffic is high at the museum whenever it is open. The end.
Okay, thank you. The whenever it's open discussion is something that might come before us in the next coming months, but.
She wrote that, I didn't just say that.
Okay, yeah. So, we gotta figure out ways to support the museum and make sure that,
Getting volunteers.
yeah. So we may entertain the idea of taking a more active role in that. Tenino Community Service Center, I do not see them. Civil Service Commission, Facade Improvement Grant Review Committee.
I don't have a report. I have got to get the group together. And
Okay.
It's just not an easy thing to do.
There's been a lot of improvements here. Like, yeah, has anybody turned in applications? Okay,
Just last week.
who did we get them
Tom
from?
Pope did, 'cause
Okay.
he kept
Yeah, because the
asking me
improvements that
about
were
it.
made, if they would just turn an application in, we could help them with that.
Well, Tom Pope kept saying to me, when could he do it? I said, do it now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Finance Committee, they meet
not till August.
August. Planning Commission, does the Planning Commission have a report?
Our meeting was mostly interviewing the new candidate for the planning commission, and it's a little bit of an unusual situation because he doesn't live in the city. He's gone all through school here. I know him personally because my oldest son played baseball here with his oldest son. Very smart, young, smart kid that has an interest in Tenino, even though he's living in Tumwater right now. He's assistant to a federal
He needs to get back
congressman.
here. What's wrong with him?
Yeah. He's very interested, seems very interested, but it is unusual that he doesn't live here in the city, and I guess the rules do allow that.
Yeah,
and-
we changed, it was like 9 years ago, we
Yeah.
changed it to allow like 40% of the members to live outside the city.
I think he'd be a great addition. Like I said, he's a very smart. He worked for the U.S. Marilyn Strickland, the U.S. Congressman. He's an assistant for her. He's a young. I don't know how he must be in his early 20s.
He's 21.
Yeah. So anyway, we recommend him to support him, but I just wanted to kind of speak up and say personally that I think he'd be. I always like to see some younger people on our commissions and things, and I
We
think
need younger people.
he would be a great voice for what young people in this community. His parents live right outside of town too, and have been active. And his dad was a baseball coach for a long time. So anyway, I would encourage you to vote for that young man.
Thank you. Chief of Police.
I think I summed it up in
Thank you, sir.
words.
Director of Public Works.
Here she comes.
There is no report from Troy. I just wanted to praise them because they are kicking butt on the pump track, and they've been spending every waking hour they have getting that done. I do know that I think the goal is this weekend. So that's it. The pool update is there was 4 guys there today, which is huge, and they told us a lot of guys are coming next week. So they're still saying July. They're not saying July 4th, but they're saying July. So we're hopeful. There's a lot of pipes down. I'm guessing the next coming steps is concrete. I don't know. But that's it for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, our Public
Do they
Works.
have lifeguards?
No, we haven't. We have 4 applications. We have 4 applicants. We're kind of holding off because we have to train those lifeguards. We have to get enough to work, but we want to make sure the pool's actually going to be done. So we're sort of like waiting
Yeah.
for all the things.
Yeah, we're circling the runway.
Yes.
Yeah, the Public Works folks have been doing an amazing job. If you see them, please thank them, pat them on the back. Those pump tracks, building those is hard work. And they're out there on the blacktop in the scorching sun, and then
Yesterday
the
was
next
hot.
day they're out in the pouring rain. And they're really excited about it. They're really committed to getting that thing built, and they love it. They love what they're doing, but it is absolute hard work. And this design, this system that we've ordered is the first one in North America. So the folks that sold them to us have told us that we're now like the preeminent experts in the construction of these things. So
No, we're not lending our.
well, no, but they sent a crew out starting yesterday, and we started teaching their
Oh,
crew how to build these things.
Do we get a discount?
Yeah, right? And it's pretty exciting. This Saturday, we plan on doing a ribbon cutting alongside the Race for Rowan 5K. And Joyride Bikes is sending up some of their like professional BMX folks. And they're going to do tricks and show off to the kids what can be done there. And we've got some videographers coming. We've got some press coming.
It's making like a lot of rounds in the
Yeah.
in the news and the press. Did you see we got an email today about a company up in DuPont that wants to donate knee pads and shoulder
I
pads?
saw that.
It's pretty cool.
And the mayor
For
of
free.
Raymond reached out and they want to know about it. There's There's a bunch of places that are really interested in it. It's
There's
when that
still
big
some
one's
more
up,
phases, even though you'll see them done and put together. They still
Yeah.
have some cool stuff to do.
there'll be
to
some
really complete
directional
'em.
stuff painted on the ground, and there might even be some ability to put in some little kid kind of slaloms on paint. But the place is popping.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
really
lot, and
is.
there's
It
just
really
like
is.
there's like 3-year-olds out there riding with 16-year-olds on BMX bikes, and it's pretty awesome.
Something to do.
Yeah, get the drone out there. That gives us 2 minutes before our
Oh,
executive
I can handle it
session.
in 2 minutes. Is it my turn?
We're gonna hold off and we'll do your report
She was already there.
at the end.
Shame on you.
No, we gotta get down there.
That's fine.
That wouldn't be right. We don't wanna cut you short, sir. We're gonna hold off till public comment. So I'm going to, it is 1 minute until the meeting starts. We're gonna end the work session.
Hurry, Rachel, you only have 1 minute.
Well, I just have to go
Mr. Mayor, how long is it?
hold the meeting.
No longer than 30 minutes.
No.
Rachel's looking her numbers to be well.
I got it taken care of.
Oh, you did? Yes. Oh, I did it like that day. Oh, you did? Yes, but I figured it out. Okay, it was, you did it yourself? No. I phoned a friend. Okay. All right. Well, if you need it. I will. I know, because no, I will. Okay. Okay.
Are you going down? Do you want to go down? Yeah. And just have this door open then?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the June 13th, 2023 Tenino City Council meeting. Let the record show that all council members are present. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have an agenda before us needing approval.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to the approval of the meeting minutes from 5/23/23.
So moved.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Now we have the consent calendar. This is consent calendar consisting of May 24th, 2023 through June 13th, 2023. Payroll EFTs in the amount of $68,772.57. Claims checks number 31441 through 31483, and EFTs in the amount of $252,773.06, for a grand total of $321,545.63, along with liquor cannabis license renewals for Mill Lane Winery, Race for Row and Run, Beer Garden, and Jubilee on July 8th. We're recommending council move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to executive session.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir.
before we go there, we only have 1 or 2 people that wanted to do public comment. Can we move that up and then right after public comment?
Sure.
Thank you.
Good suggestion. All right, we have some, if there's any members of the public that would like to provide comment, we will give you the opportunity to do so now. You'll be given 3 minutes. Start with your name and address. So if you'd like to provide public comment.
Yeah, my name is Tina Lamb. I live at Mercy Housing, apartment, Building A, excuse me. We have tried to call the police department when something really happens down there that we can't control and nobody shows up. So we don't know what we're supposed to do. Who do we call for help? if we can't get the Tenino Police Department to come and find out. I know they've been there several times at that one building because of two people that do live there. But when my mother gets threatened, she's 90 years old, and nobody comes. We called 911. The person would not leave from her door, kept trying to push her way in. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited. It's still, to this day, today, no officer. This has been months that we've been waiting, and nothing's been done. And I'm just asking the chief, what are we gonna do? Because I know you show up a lot.
Do you want to talk to me outside?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I can do
Well,
that.
yeah, when we go to our executive session, you guys can have, you'll have 30 minutes.
Good. Okay.
Is your public, you have any other comment you'd like to make? You have another minute and 40 seconds.
No, I don't. I mean, I appreciate what
Okay.
the police department does, and I love what they do, but there's times that when we really need one, there's never one around.
Okay.
You know, there's been threats from certain people that live there. I mean, physical threats. So us old folks don't know what to do, let's put it that way.
Okay.
So we're in fear of people that we live around.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Just go talk outside.
Okay. Which way are we going?
All right, if there's anyone else in the audience that would like to provide public comment, now's your time to do so. You will give it 3 minutes. State your name and address.
Dave Watterson, 1132 Central Avenue East, here in Tenino. I just wanted, I'm speaking, I think, kind of on behalf of the Planning Commission. I just wanted to speak on the suggestions that were made. I agree, the 15 people can camp here for 15 days as it is now, and as, like you said, as many people could come for a 15-day period as you wanted at this point. So I don't see that this is, I mean, the whole point of this was to expand a little bit, to allow a little bit more people to stay a little bit longer with some little stricter conditions, because there is no conditions right now for the 15-day one. So I don't say we can shorten it, but to just say another 15 days, which is already, with all due respect, Jason, to make it just a 15-day one, I don't think we're really gaining anything. And now we're saying you have to pay for a permit and all these other things. I don't see that makes it gaining anything personally. We did talk about, there's talking about the 10-year-old. We did talk about that 10-year-old campers, and I understand the concern there also. That what we talked about as well, there's some nice, very old campers. People sometimes have very nice, refurbished, older campers, and to say you can't bring one of those to do this kind of seemed like it was people that want to do, again, this is trying to do people that want to do the right things and pay a permit and follow the rules. And so I'm not saying that's a deal breaker, but I would consider that, I don't know. But anyway, I would reconsider that. And then the RV owned by the homeowner, again, I mean, most people don't have an RV, and so you would really limit the amount of people that could really even do this. So those are just my comments on the suggestions here. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I just want to clarify, those comments aren't from the Planning Commission. Those comments are from Dave, and Dave can't represent the Planning Commission unless they've given him authority to represent the Planning Commission, so, okay. All right. If there's anyone else in the audience that would like to provide public comment, now is your time to do so. I'm not seeing anyone, so we will recess to an executive session to last an estimated 30 minutes. Discussion topic is potential litigation. The executive session will consist of the council, Mr. Jeff Myers, attorney, clerk treasurer, and the police clerk.
Everybody else, get out.
Oh, we're going downstairs?
Yes.
Like we just did here?
I like downstairs. All right. Council is back in session. No decisions were made during the executive session. We will go to presentations. We have none. We've already done public comment, public hearing, we have none. Old business. 2019 fraud update. The City of Tenino's insurance provider has reviewed all materials submitted, including the State Auditor's Office report, and went so far as to reach out to the former employee. They will be covering the misappropriated cash in the amount of $22,783. The city should receive a reimbursement check next week. So we're being made whole by an insurance company. The county prosecutor's office has told us to check back in with them this week, and I think they told us to call Wednesday, and because they were reviewing the case that we had referred for charges. So hopefully we'll have an update on that soon. Quarry House, Amendment 2. This amendment will extend the period of performance end date from June 1st, 2023 to August 1st, 2023. The amendment will also add $77,000 to the original grant amount, changing the total grant amount from $350,655 to $427,655. The original scope of work and the project budget also be updated. The additional funds will be added to the capital improvements budget line. We are recommending council move to approve Quarry House Amendment number 2.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the amendment. Is there any discussion? Project is going well. We kind of started doing the backstage, and it turned into a back porch. So we reviewed with the contractor what we wanted to do, kind of made some quick on-the-fly changes, and it's being converted back into a stage again with steps along the whole front side of it. It's going to look really, really nice. Right now, I went by there today, and they were putting like tongue and groove cedar up in all the eaves around the whole thing. It's pretty remarkable. There were some masons in there that were working on the front porch where there was that big crack. That was earlier this week. So no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Number 9, under new business, public safety agreement. This is a subscriber agreement with public safety testing. Do you want to come talk about it, Maria? We don't hear from you that often. Start making you come to these. First time ever?
Is your microphone on?
This is not the first time you've spoken at a council meeting.
This is the very first council meeting I have ever attended.
Oh my
in
God, and how long have you worked
8 years
here?
of employment.
8 years? Oh God. If they like you, you might have to come back. If you're not asked back, you'll know that
Exactly.
they
That would
didn't
be a
like
sign
you.
right there. I'll just stay on my office on the other side of town.
You guys, this is Maria, the police clerk of 8 years.
Thank you.
Wow.
Public safety testing, they're a local Washington agency. They would provide recruiting. And so applicants who want to come to work at the police departments could go and they would test with them. They would physical testing, academic testing, they would do background testing, polygraphing and psych evaluations, and scoring. And then we would subscribe to their service, and then for additional dollars we could get the testing documentation from them. So that would be eliminated from us having to do our own testing here in Tenino, which I've participated with over the years. We've done some oral boards and some testing. We
would still do oral boards.
We would still do oral boards, yes, but we would, the testing part of it would be done by the outside agency, and so that would be a relief on our part, having them do that.
So it's $600 a year
$600
to be a member, and that allows us to get the entry level or lateral. There's a raccoon on the roof over there. That's funny. That's so Tenino. It would allow us to get updated lists continuously throughout the year, and then it also gives us a contract where we could use them for polygraphs, psychs, background checks, and this is something that has been pointed out and recommended to us, and
But those are something we'd have to pay for extra.
beyond that $600. $600 gets you in the door.
Right, got it.
Yes, but we would be on a national registry then. Then applicants that are from Alaska that want to come down to the continental United States, they could test then with public safety testing because they do national testing. So our pool then would become potentially much larger.
Yeah, we used to use them, and we probably stopped, 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, we used
And
it
when
for
we
some
first signed up with them, we went from having like 5 applicants to like 60 applicants.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. I met with John Walters at the Civil Service Commissions or the conferences when I went with them with Ken Jones previously. They're a wonderful agency. I think it would be a smart move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the city to sign a contract with public safety testing. Is there any discussion?
Would this come out of the police budget, or does this come out of the city budget?
Police budget, but, I mean, this is not necessarily something we specifically budgeted for, but it is something that we can afford this year. And it's something that we want to not, we don't want to do hiring processes without this third-party agency vetting it. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Back up here to the top. That brings us to amendment for construction phase services for Hodgson Street. This is an amendment.
I think you have the amendment there.
Yeah.
There should be 2 of them.
So the Hodgson Street construction, we have a contract signed. We're looking to make an amendment to the contract. This modifies the agreement for engineering services between Gibson Olson and the city of Tenino, executed on January 11th of 2023 for a project known as the Hodgson Street Improvement. The following modifications are made to the agreement. All other terms and conditions of the frame of the agreement remain unchanged. Scope of work to be performed by the engineer is modified as identified in Exhibit A. Scope of work. This amendment incorporates construction phase engineering services as identified in Exhibit A. The engineer's budget is increased by $23,700 for completion of the additional scope of work. The original amount, $23,700. Amendment number 1, $23,700. Total agreement amount, $47,400. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the city to sign the agreement, the amendment with Gibson Olson for the Hodgson Street Improvement Project. Do we have?
I think they already have a pre-con.
I have not been to one. It is this summer. It's in the next few weeks. They should start working. So I will get you a better date. Thank you. It is moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. That brings us to, I'm having the darnest time with this computer. We have Planning Commission applicant. So I've been trying to recruit this guy for city service for a couple of years now. Again, I think he's 23, Tenino graduate, very sharp individual. You can see his application is very thorough, very filled out. He's got quite a bit of experience working in government. He's very interested in government. I think he'd be a wonderful addition to the Planning Commission. He was, I believe he was the statewide FFA president.
Was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
good guy.
impressive.
Good guy.
It's a shame that he doesn't
Good.
live within the city, but he definitely wants to come home and serve his community. So I am asking the council to confirm the appointment of Matthew Roundsley to the Tenino Planning Commission.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
It's just a concern. We've had 3 young people like this come before us, 2 of them for planning, 1 for city council, and within months, they moved on. That's my only concern.
Well, I think that Matthew, if he's working for Congressman Strickland, will be around for a little while anyway, for another,
Unless it gets
Three.
promoted.
well, that could very well be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully he won't.
I'm just saying that's the only concern that I have about it.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
He's very, I think he would be very well qualified for a planning commission.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not questioning that.
Keep it-
It's just his
I'd like to
youth
keep
and
getting back here.
possibility of moving up.
Yeah.
Call for question.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Oregon Trail Days. The Oregon Trail Days Committee is requesting we waive fees. Let me get down to the nitty gritty. Tenino Area Chamber of Commerce. We are very excited for this year's Oregon Trail Days. It is scheduled to take place July 21st through the 23rd. As in past years, we appreciate all the support of the city of Tenino, including elected officials, administration, public works, and police. We are asking again for that support and your partnership in hosting Oregon Trail Days at Tenino City Park and the parade on Sussex, and that any fees or permits or city services be waived. Please find attached our city Tenino special event permit. Please let me know if you have any questions. We look forward to working with you and your team. President Cheryl Pierce.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Do we have any discussion? Just want to state that we do this every year for Oregon Trail Days Committee.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know that this is not something that we do for every organization that comes here. We've got a list of things that if they have not been part of city throughout their time, they just come and ask for a request for something like this to happen. That's usually not something that we do, but because this is a chamber event, the chamber's been serving the city for God knows how many years now. Linda, you know how many years?
Don't have a clue.
Me either.
I've been involved for
But
13.
I've been going to the chamber meetings since '96, so that's an indication of some kind of time. It's a special thing that we do for people that do a lot of stuff behind the scenes for the city. I just wanted everybody to know that, and that this is not something that we do for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. That brings us back to reports. Clerk Treasurer, we'd love to hear from you.
They're your 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I need to. Okay, so like Jessica's report mentioned, we did have some field trippers come through City Hall. Special shout out to Courtney. She gave them a nice little tour of City Hall for us, so that was exciting. It was the entire 7th grade came. I think they're going to continue to make that annual. Hopefully they can make it on a weekend or on a day the mayor's here, because the last 2 years he's been working, but they did enjoy sitting in his chair. They felt like they were.
They do that every year. They go
They
in there
love
and
it.
like
Yeah.
swing the chair
They
around
take,
and
like,
put
selfies.
pictures. Yeah.
They're like, look at me, I'm the boss. Yeah, it's so cute. We had last week RMSA visited the city. We have a new representative. Is that what you would call him, I guess? Liaison, yeah. We gave them a tour around all the new improvements. They haven't seen anything. They haven't been here in a while. They were pretty impressed with our playground.
Where was this from?
RMSA.
Oh.
Yeah, so we walked around and looked at, anything they had a concern about. We showed them the pool. We took them up to the rocks. We took them up to the poop plant, and we looked at the caboose, and we did look at the
Swells.
on this
The tank traps.
the ones that we have concerns. I know there's been a few concerns raised about the one there on Ritter and Central. Their recommendation was to put some reflectors up, not a fence or anything that could be damaged, just some
Reflectors,
simple,
but something to let people know.
AKA Linda was right all along. No.
No, I wouldn't go that far. They're like, what can we do to
Yeah.
keep her quiet? And they're
Linda's right.
Yeah. Anyway, they were impressed and gave us some really great tips. One of the biggest takeaways, I think, was now that the Quarry House is back open, we can register our facilities. We can even register the pool, and they can offer a really simple portal for the person that's renting that facility to get
special events permit,
special event insurance. And it's $75. So
which
it's
has been a
pretty-
difficulty for like people
Many
want to put
people.
on a street dance. People want to put on a festival.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, how do we get insurance? And I've done it. Even had a hard time with it. I call my insurance company, and they're like, yeah, and they call.
Yeah.
And you call around. Well, now through our insurance company, we can offer that to our
Really?
citizens, and they can get the event insurance for like $75.
It's
which is
gonna be
really
great, yeah.
awesome.
It is awesome.
Yes.
yeah, and it can be at any
We're
of our
paying-
city facilities.
The
Yeah.
chamber is paying like an extra $2,000 for the insurance. On
Yeah,
the Oregon
it's
Trail.
every time we
Yeah.
meet with them, they they help us cut through the rumors. And the bounce house question.
Yes.
You know, it was a question about what event for the Jubilee.
Jubilee, yeah.
The chamber, and you know, we want to use the chamber's bounce houses, and well, they want, well, you have $2,500 insurance rider in our insurance pool. It's like, no, you don't. You already have insurance.
That is amazing.
It's great.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Right systems. We had me and Maria had a webinar, and the mayor popped on that, not a webinar, an online meeting.
Zoom.
Yes. They discussed, you know, our servers crashed a few weeks ago. We kind of discussed options for that. They're going to give us some pricing on switching to the cloud. They also are coming for an on-site visit at the end of the month to go over more pricing and more options on security. We are working, the state auditor's office reached out to us to do a free cyber audit, which is a long process. It's free for us, but it costs money on the side of, they need our IT to give them all the things they need.
So there's some backdoor costs. But it was really cool when we were talking to the insurance company folks, the insurance pool folks, the representatives, you know, it came up, well, what do you do for cybersecurity? Well, we're engaged with the state auditor's office to do the cybersecurity audit. And they're like, oh, well, we were going to suggest it.
Yeah.
They were like, we were one step ahead of them. And that felt nice.
Yeah.
It always feels like you're making the right decision.
Especially after some of the things we've been through, it'll be very good. So they're working on that for us. I worked on an energy grant today, and I've been working on a happy grant that the Planning Commission's been doing a lot of work on. And security cameras. One of the greatest things, I feel like, Maria the other day was able to access the cameras at the Corey House. Some kids did some burnouts all over the park, and we were able to find them, and their dad sent them over to rake up all the damage they did. So, you know,
that's awesome.
That's a win. So everybody keep in mind, there's cameras watching the
Yeah,
children.
I noticed where they bedded it, the Corey Center.
Yeah, we want more cameras. The goal is more cameras. Oh, that was another thing we talked to RMSA about when they were here was their grants. You know, they do a risk management grant,
Loss prevention grant,
and
the Lexipol grant.
The Lexipol grant, yeah.
Which we already do the Lexipol grant.
Correct. So the loss prevention grant, we are able to apply for it for cameras, which we did this year. We just don't know if we're getting that one. But we can also submit for reimbursement for whatever this audit does cost us on the IT side. We are able to do that as well.
Did you get that email? Well, you got it from James Reddick on that T-Mobile grant to help
I just haven't looked at it yet.
communities with different small projects.
Cool. It's great. Yeah. So it's the goal Maria got some quotes for the museum as well as
Well, the Corey House had cameras. Some of it got interrupted while we were doing the remodel, so to repair some of that and add some more, especially to the new backstage area to make sure that that's secure. And then the museum to have cameras with a DVR and a recording things, it has nothing right now. And so we have 3 separate quotes to.
So we're locked and loaded. We're ready.
City Hall as well. There's one more facility, or one more camera here at City Hall to secure it as well.
Awesome.
And moving that to the local company in Centralia. Yes. So all the camera monitoring.
My predecessor had us linked to quite a few different companies. So we're trying to get them all local and in one place.
Which the police department has been in a local facility for as long as I've been here, while the other buildings were not at the local facility as well. I don't know why.
It's all John O'Callahan's fault. I don't know. I just made that up. Code enforcement building inspector, no report. Park specialist, you heard from her. City attorney, city planner, mayor. I have essentially given my report vicariously. Be that.
Their last meeting is tomorrow night for the summer.
Solid Waste Advisory Board.
In July, Solid Waste will get a grant for Hazel House. Department of Ecology grant was approved. They just don't know how much it is yet. They just had gotten the word on Tuesday morning. Bids are out for a new compactor to the tune of $2 million. They're looking for a site in the South County for new transfer. station, and they have 9 parcels that they have to look at and narrow down. And that's for, and then the drop boxes for Rainier and Rochester. They got approval for the break and warming building, so those will start immediately, and you'll see those changes. And Republic Services took over on May 1, and they have somebody at both of those facilities to help people who are handicapped, elderly, or too small to put their things into the...
Oh, somebody finally sees me.
I like Republic Services. They seem like they put together a good plan.
Yeah, so...
TCOM, Tenino School Board,
No report.
TRPC. Did I cut you off?
No, I was saying that we only have 4 more days left.
Graduation went well, I assume?
Graduation went well.
It was wonderful. My great-granddaughter graduated.
Awesome.
It was great.
Jessica's son Rowan was a
Yeah.
speaker there.
I saw pictures.
Oh, and it was
That's
good.
cool.
He was good,
What
too.
part did
He
he,
was funny to listen to.
He was the student.
the student chosen one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always the funny
Oh,
one.
And he was, he's like, funny.
We
He's
promptly-
funny anyway.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
He was prom king.
awesome.
Yeah, he's had an exciting end of the
TRPC?
TRPC, TBV is tomorrow morning, but TRPC, we started talking about a whole bunch of stuff, carbon credits and all that kind of stuff. And most of the time when we're talking about carbon credits, there are actually all the time, they're talking about North County, Lacey, Olympia, Tumwater, that kind of stuff, and how they're going to start reducing that. And I finally had enough of it. And I said, listen, if you guys really want to start reducing carbon credits and you want to see some real numbers, you need to start looking at South County, because most of the people in South County that live here work up in this area. So you're talking a whole lot of people that are driving gasoline cars, and by 2035 or sooner, we're already mandated that we have to have electric vehicles. So the best thing for us to do is to look at where the biggest population of gas vehicles that have to drive the longest. You start working there and putting in those electric stations, because they're going to be mandated anyway. You start working there and putting in those gas stations like they have over at Nisqually. I think they've got 12 electric stations coming in, but they're nice to have. The thing about those though is when you get home at night, do you have to drive over there, leave it all night long, and then come back? Well, everybody started poo-pooing and said, oh, we got plenty of time, I said, no, we don't. This is something that we should have been talking about, and I've been bringing it up for the last 5 years. Not that I think that we as consumers can't decide for ourselves whether we want to have an electric car or not, but it's being forced down our throat. And we're not looking at what the larger government agencies are telling us that we have to do, for example, our governor, never mind the president, and then addressing that. That's what TRPC is supposed to do. We're supposed to take that 50,000 foot look at our county and then expand it out 20, 30 years. Well, you look at the plans that we have right now, and nothing deals with the electric vehicles that we're mandated to have. I got done with my little soapbox, and then Graham Sacriston, Graham Sacriston got in there, and he said, John's right. We need to be looking at this right now. Whether it's going to go anywhere, I don't know. We'll see. But we are so far behind the curve on taking care of electric vehicles and possible brownouts and all that kind of stuff, and dealing with PSE, which is a private company and does not have to follow. When the government says you have to do this, they can look at it and say, we're not government. We don't have to do that. So we need to start working with PSE to find out what our capabilities are before we start hitting brownouts, and we need to start looking at this stuff from a more advanced outlook than we are right now, and we're not doing it. Like I said, Graham Sacriston was listening, and he goes, no, John's right on this, and this is something that we do need to do. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Legislature, no report. Public comment period number 2. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to provide public comment, now's your opportunity to do so. I see no one in the audience from public. Announcements. I mentioned already that there's a steady meeting this Friday at the Quarry House where we'll be doing a ribbon cutting for the new Quarry House. And then on Saturday at, I believe starting at 9 o'clock, there will be a party in the park with the Race for Row and Run and a ribbon cutting for the pump track. Yeah, it should be a good event.
And the number one holiday this weekend. So enjoy, guys. Nobody. Da-bum-bum.
Father's Day.
Oh, the number one holiday. Sorry, Jason.
That was a mumble? Oh, sorry.
I have an announcement. The chamber voted to donate $500 to the July 8th sesquicentennial celebration at the park.
Excellent. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce.
Happy Father's